Facebook, what's up Instagram? How y'all doing today? Y'all see the subject right there, Wednesday marriage talk. And the subject is adultery okay?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Just want to put the subject out there, but how is everybody doing tonight on this Wednesday night? I hope y'all are blessed and highly favored. Come on over here, baby.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, good.
Right.
Get a little closer.
Sure, man.
So, yeah, she got the bun fun going on. And then right there.
It's messing up right here. It's gonna bother me.
So, yeah, today's been a busy day for the Barkers.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday is a busy day.
Every day is a busy day. What's up, Facebook?
Yes. You're not in this
How
one,
y'all
though.
doing? I know, you're like angled to you, and then you want me to be like sitting on your penis. That's what it looked like. You want me to hop on it live? Okay, I see you. What's up, guys? So listen, happy Wednesday. I'm going to be limited a little bit because I'm still in a little pain from my mouth, and it's not for what y'all thinking.
And then
Nasty folks. What happened?
I don't know.
Install later schedule.
And then my allergies are really.
But you didn't even tell them the reason why my mouth hurt though. Like you just walked past it.
Oh, because you was doing something.
What was I doing though?
Her wisdom teeth.
I was doing something.
Wisdom teeth were coming.
So my they're supposed to be pulling out my wisdom teeth. They didn't do it, so they did some other work, and I'm in less pain, but my mouth I'm gonna be limited, okay?
And I know in Georgia the pollen is starting to pick up, so my allergies are at an all-time high right now.
Make sure I don't look too big in this camera, because some of this stuff be looking big over here sometimes.
The voice
You gotta turn
and
it.
the eyes watery.
See, that's better. See this?
Mm.
See that? That's your angle. It's our angle. What's up? So you gotta fix it. Okay, thank you.
You decided to wear blue?
Yeah, I didn't even know you were wearing blue. Like, why are you wearing blue with me?
I don't know.
It's just trying to be like me.
I guess so.
Turn this a little bit. I don't want to mess it up. So what's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Wealth women. I like Wealth Women Wednesday. Just here. Today's topic. Go ahead, babe.
I already said today's topic.
Okay, you can. Talk.
Is adultery okay? Right?
I put okay or allowed.
And what do you mean by that?
First of all, what is adultery?
Well, you know what that is. That's when you creeping. That's when you.
Well, what is it? Because some people think
That's having an affair.
okay, some people might accept it. Some people might have different definitions. So what do we define? We got anybody that's listening. Y'all can look up the definition for adultery. What does adultery mean? And what does it mean for y'all? Like for some people, Brandon, what were you thinking? Some people, it can mean everything. So, and this is for married people, right?
Yeah.
Married folks.
So some people can. Well, let's talk about the people that don't think about adultery as adultery. Like some people might think that.
No. So you're just gonna go right into it? Like we're not saying.
Okay.
Like what is adultery though? I'm asking.
What did you put in there?
I didn't put anything. I'm asking you, what is adultery,
I said
babe?
having an affair.
What does that consist of? Is it sex? Is it kissing? Is it touching? Is it blowing? Is it rubbing? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, I can't talk too much.
So yes, it's kissing. It's anything sexual feelings towards another person that's you're not married to.
Is adultery emotional?
I think it can be. I think it can be emotional. I think it can. Also, what do you put on your notes? Cause
I didn't put nothing for what is adultery. That's for just us to answer.
Yeah. I think it can be emotional. Why do you think it could be emotional?
I think you could be, you don't have to be physical with somebody, but you can be emotionally involving or engaging or thinking of other things. Emotional can also be verbal. If you're having a conversation with somebody that's inappropriate, you might be feeding the mind more than what it needs to be fed that your spouse should be doing.
Okay. All right.
You don't think so?
Yeah. I see where you're going with that.
You get what I'm saying? Like, It could be that good coworker that you just having that flirtatious conversation with. You're not committing adultery, but you're getting kind of close, connecting. You're emotionally.
So you pretty much turning a harmless conversation into a conversation that could lead elsewhere.
Yeah.
When you think it's harmless.
At first you think it is, but after a while you know what it is.
Yeah. First it starts off harmless, right?
So yeah. So physical, mentally, you think emotional. What about for a man?
So what about so would you consider like if somebody's dreaming about somebody else, would you consider that some form of adultery?
Is the person like a famous person or?
It shouldn't matter.
Or is it just anyone? Just in general.
Anyone in general.
Can you go tell them kids to be quiet, please? Because it's gonna irritate me. I'm trying to stay focused. So I think dreaming of someone else besides your spouse can be emotionally. We learned about this. It could be like a soul tie. You know what I mean? You can have an old crush, an old ex. You can have the mailman that you're thinking about because for whatever reason you might think he's fine all the time and you're thinking about him more than what you should be. You might dream about the situation. You might dream about him. You might, and then what are you dreaming? Are you having sexual dreams? Are you having, like they say, wet dreams or whatever? You know what I mean? So it can be. You just have to be very careful because you're playing with the devil. You're playing with like temptation. You know what I mean? And then you don't want to start fantasizing. That can go into fantasizing. Like you might have that dream and then it turns into a crush and then it turns into a fantasy and then next thing you know, you're like, you want it. You know what I mean? And then now you're in a whole nother place with this mailman you never thought of because now it escalated. You know what I'm saying? So it can be a very touchy subject. So we wanted to kind of talk about this tonight because we haven't talked about this. And the Barkers have been online for almost 3 months now. And we have not talked about adultery. And I feel like it's the elephant in the room that people don't like to talk about. People don't want to talk about it. And people don't want to accept it. And we put it because it's intentional. We want people to think about this and discuss it with their spouse. Not to bring a negative vibe or situation, but are you going to just bypass it and just never discuss it and maybe your spouse is having an affair? Or maybe your spouse is thinking about it. Maybe your relationship is not good and the affair is happening or can happen. So that's why we wanted to I put it in there. Is it allowed? Right. Is it allowed? We mentioned it to one of our friends today and she looked at me like, absolutely not. What do you guys think? My married people chiming in. Do you think it's allowed? Is it okay?
Is it okay if you don't bring nothing home?
What do you mean?
Like some people might be having affairs and
Can you
yeah. They might be having an affair.
Turn so I can go in.
And then they might be like, as long as you don't bring nothing back to the crib and give me nothing, I'm fine. It's not a real marriage, huh?
How is this okay though? Like, how are you even saying, as long as you don't bring nothing back to me, go have sex with someone else?
Hey, it's happening.
It's out there?
Yeah. These are things that are happening.
That's not happening in this household.
Correct.
Y'all better understand the Barkers don't play this. So, and I want everybody to understand that just because we're asking, is it okay, is it allowed? It's not that we're saying we're okay with this and we're allowing this. This is just something that has to be brought up because, like Brandon said, it's happening. You know?
Or what's another way that they use it?
You said, oh, no kids. Let's talk about it. I have some friends married that their husband committed adultery and had a child, and they're still married. Now, do they have a relationship with the child? No. Is it messed up? I think it is. I think they made the child. They should have a relationship. I think they should have a. That's your child, but the wife doesn't really allow it. Doesn't really permit it. It's not really okay with it because it was out of what is it? Adultery or whatever it's called. Like you had the baby while we're married.
So how does the person that didn't cheat? How are they supposed to receive that? You know, even though they decide to stay.
Well, that's what I was about to say. First of all,
they gotta make the
decision. Do you decide to stay if not only does your spouse have an affair, but they have a child?
That's rough.
Would you stay?
I think it depends on the situation. Because if you got previous kids involved, then it might be a different situation with that. And I know kids aren't the reason why you should stay together. But, you know, that one's very tough right there. That's walking a thin line right there, you know.
And you know, the hard thing about this is that I've seen it firsthand, right? And the marriage has never been the same for these individuals. And throughout the years, of course, guess what? When they argue, what's brought up?
Yeah, sometimes that's
the other child was brought up. The scenario was brought up. Child support that the spouse has to pay because of the affair. I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Like every paycheck, mad. Like child support done slept around is what happens. You know, I'll be mad. Like really, because it's affecting our household, our finances.
But eventually
you get over it, but you still get mad. Like, really?
Yeah.
Now the question is, do you have a relationship with that child?
You should have a responsible relationship with
the spouse or the parent that made the child?
The parent.
What about the spouse?
The spouse, I think you should also have a relationship with that child as well, because it's not the child's fault.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that they was born into a situation that happened. So I think
if it's possible, because in this scenario the baby mother's crazy, so the spouse could not be involved.
Yeah, well, they have to be involved if you're married, and that's something that the husband or the wife have to discuss with the person that they end up having a baby with. They got to discuss like, hey, I understand everything that happened, but at the end of the day, with what we got going on, it's just not about us.
Mm-hmm.
And we gotta look at what's best for our child and right now moving forward, and then try to co-parent the best way you can. I feel that.
The other thing is, do you turn the other cheek? So this is why the question was brought up, because I've seen it. We've seen it. My husband's seen it. I've seen it. Where the family knows or the spouse knows of the affair, and they're like if it's not happening, like just you know, as long as it's not messing up nothing here, as long as the money good, as long as
So the thing is it okay if it happens? And even if it happens one time, right? That's something that I really think you can work through if it happened one time.
No, but we're talking about turning the other cheek like it's a continuous affair. Like it's like not, and it don't even gotta be with one person, because that's a relationship, right? But
some
is this person
relationships outside.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could be a relationship. It could be multiple just affairs just throughout the marriage, and the spouse just turning the cheek like whatever. As long as, let's just say he, for example, as long as he's paying the house, the car, the kids, the food, the this, the that, I don't care. Nah. As long as he's not bringing nothing, he don't got no kids, he's respecting me, blah blah blah. Turn the cheek. I'm gonna ignore the panties in the car.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you just for real.
Well, that's just a financial relationship. If it's something like that,
that's a business relationship.
Yeah, that's like a business and financial relationship because, if you still stand in a situation like that, you're just trying to get your gains. You know what I mean? While you can.
Are you really, or are you just living off of the spouse?
No, because you're getting your gains, and at the same time,
what gains?
Far as you're in the same sense, you know what's going on, but as long as you get what you want, then you're okay with it. Those are your gains.
Right.
Now, when you don't become okay with it, you can still be getting your gains and making that other person walk on eggshells because you're not trying to even work it out or figure it out why it happened in the first place. And that's what happens with adultery. Is it okay? Because a lot of people don't try to figure out how did this start? How did this become about?
Or do you even still love your spouse because you're letting it just you're like,
yeah, because the thing about that is once you go outside your marriage, now that oneness with your spouse is disconnected.
Sorry.
Now that oneness with your spouse is disconnected. So then you don't really like.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, it's annoying me.
All right. So then you don't really like. Are not as passionate like you were before when y'all was intimate. You know what I mean? Like now the trust, you don't even know what to think. In the back of that other person's mind.
Is the sex the same?
Exactly. It might more likely it's not because
like,
in the back of the mind of the other person they're thinking like what really went down. Even though they don't want to know.
Or you might not be comfortable. Like, are you gonna really give your husband some head when he just done smashed another chick?
Yeah, well, and that's in the
back.
That's
nasty.
And in the back of your mind, you thinking like,
or vice versa.
What did they really do?
Did they do the fool? And that's and if you are turning the cheek now, are you like you said, are you wondering, like, or are you asking, are you talking about it, like, so are they only being intimate and having sex? Are they having sex? Are they intimate? Do they like each other? Are they in love? Are they having a side relationship? Are they doing oral to each other? Like, what's happening? Or are there rules? I didn't even write that down. Yeah. Or are they rules?
Like I said, I think once you cross the line, you cross the line.
Right, because it gets deeper than it gets deeper than just, I had a one-time thing. Yeah. It gets deeper. And I know for some of my wives, y'all probably like, and even the husbands, I don't even want to know what they did. Yeah. And it's kind of like, do you really not want to know? Or do you want to at least know and be safe? Or, because if you don't want to know, now are you going to mess up your intimacy with your husband because you're wondering what might have happened? Now you all messed up.
Yeah, that right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is why the Barkers wanted to talk about this, because it happens. And guess what? All this can be avoided by not having adultery, not being okay with it, not allowing it. Now, if it happens, what is the solution? Like, one time, do you forgive? Do you, what if it was really like let's say the husband is, or whatever, it feels really bad, like, oh my gosh, I slipped up, I was drunk, or I don't know, whatever. It was like, it got in, and then I was out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And the spouse really wants to work it out, and you're forgiving, now what? Because temptation, things happen.
Well, now what far as the person that didn't cheat, or now what far as the person that did cheat? Which one?
That didn't.
That didn't. That's when you have to pray over your spouse. That's when you got to pray over your spouse.
That's good.
And you got to move forward, and you start gaining that trust back with them, and that you pray that God is working on them. Because if you don't do that,
the devil is in the mix.
It can happen again. And then it goes back to what I talked about on Monday. Are you setting boundaries?
And how many times would you stay? Would you allow? After the first time you stayed, are you gonna allow the second time? Are you gonna allow? Because honestly, for me, and I'm gonna just keep it like we say back up north. I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm gonna just keep it buck, like some people say. After the first, I would say after the second time. After the second time, I feel like it's gonna be a continuous thing throughout the marriage. I'm not saying let me finish. Some of y'all here like I'm not saying the affair is like continuous with the same person or the same month or that year. It might have been a faithful commitment for 5, 10, 15 years, and then boom, he might fall again. Because why did he fall twice already? Or she? You know what I'm saying? Like Brandon was saying, it's deeper than that in the connection. How are we falling for that first, like just the first time?
Yeah, we'll see. Just what I'm saying. Like, one time, I think is enough. You know, and you know, even in the back of your mind, that right there kind of is hard to work through. Like, I don't see how you can stay after 2 times. That's just my opinion. That's not.
I'll be honest with you. And this is the thing with us. And like, and I don't know, you know, Brandon. I don't know. You probably didn't. You know, we didn't get into this, but you know, some of y'all don't know our real story, the background. Before we got married, we did have our own situations. Like, we dated for years. We dated for 4 years before we got married, and you know, he was in the streets. If you know what I'm saying, doing his thing. I was doing my thing. We did cheat, like on each other, like we did. Sometimes we weren't even together, so he doesn't call it cheating, but I do because we were still messing with each other. My thing is, listen, ladies, if we still getting it in within a week or 2, we still together. It's not like, oh, we didn't do nothing for 2 weeks, so now I done smashed the next chick, so we're not together. No, we still together. We just didn't do nothing in 2 weeks because you was out smashing the other chick. You still cheated, right? So it's just being real talk. We've been through this. He did his thing, right? I did mine too, but mine was out of remorse. Like, okay, you doing you, I'm gonna do me, right? But we don't condone that. Now we're married, so like Brandon knows, I don't ever want to feel what I felt when we dated and he did cheat. Ever. Because we're gonna be honest, right? Yeah. Like he cheated, I cheated, but this was when we were dating. I don't ever want to feel that. He knows this. And some of y'all might not know our story, but it was almost a couple of chicks I was about to get into it with it. You know, because I wasn't having that. But it hurt. So now being married, I can only imagine him going that way, or even just me going that way. I can't, like, we do talk about this. We'd be like, man, I can't, like, we tell each other, like, I can't imagine sleeping with someone else. We just can't, like, you know, we're further, we're moved on. Our intimacy, our commitment, our oneness, like Brandon explained, it's at a different level that when you bring that in, man, that's deep. Like, y'all don't think about it, but it's deep.
Yeah, because it's that soul tie thing, like you talked about. Mm-hmm. And even though, you know, you didn't, and it don't matter if it's just a random either, you're still soul tied to that person. You know, you're going to think about that night.
Because that's the thing. Why be married if you're going to creep?
Yeah, well.
Some have answers. I know there's comfort, there's money. I get it. But, like, is the love really there?
Well, that's when you also spending more time together. You know, where you don't allow those things to happen. Like, those are, like, the different avenues. You got to take different steps, like I talked about on Monday. You got to take different steps to protect your marriage. You know what I'm saying? And you got to take it serious when it comes to that, you know. And basically, I know that a lot of people, and it used to be, like, I know how the old relationship was. It's like, you might have had a brother on the other side of town and you knew that was your brother, but they stayed together because they want to say that they was trying to keep the family together or something like that, you know. And long as the dad or the mom, well, back in the day it was more the dad, as long as the dad took care of that family on the side, it really wasn't even discussed. You know what I mean? It wasn't discussed that you had an extra brother. You didn't even know you had another brother or another sister until you got older, and it was
some still don't know.
Yeah,
and some like I said in scenarios that I've seen and I've heard. Remember, you gotta remember, I'm a therapist, right? So I've been a therapist for years now. I've seen so many different cases. So just FYI, so I don't want you to be like, who's she talking about? No, it could be clients, it could be family, friends, it could be the neighbor. A lot. I come into a lot of people. And that scenario that I mentioned earlier with the affair scenario with the child, they're adults now and still don't know that they have siblings. And I was to a point that I told the parent, like, you might want to tell them because they're very close in age. What if they date? Because it was a small, we're in a small city now, and things can happen.
What if they bump into each other
and like each other, and they end up dating, and they have sex, and they siblings?
Or what if they just bump into each other
and find out? It almost happened. Like, this almost happened, like, for real scenario. And the parent and I were talking because she was calling me nervous, like, I think he's going to find out. I think she, like, friend requested him, and I think she's trying to let him know that that's the sister. And it was a big scenario, and this was messing with the marriage. And this was, like, 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a big deal, to really discuss these things. So the other thing I put on here is how about those families, like you mentioned, babe, that kind of like they don't talk about it because they're taking care of them and also taking your family, right? But what about those affairs that just never get caught and you just living a double life? That's for real.
Yeah, well, the living double life is already something in itself. That's like, I feel like that's
again, we've been through this.
That's a lot of work.
Brandon, talk about this. We've been through this.
That's a lot of work, and then on top of that is
he didn't have a whole nother family though. Like, let's get that. Let me just clarify that. Yeah. It might have been a whole nother couple girls, but no families. Go ahead.
So the thing about it is, that right there is tough.
You just don't get caught. You like, what if?
Because I think with a lot of adultery comes with the thrill of it, because that can be an addiction too. It's the thrill of not even getting caught.
Right. The side conversations or at work.
The sneakiness, the adrenaline of the sneakiness. I think that's the key to a lot of it is the adrenaline of the sneakiness, the thrill of not getting caught. And it you might not look at it.
When you don't get caught, you get more.
Yeah, you might not even look at it that way. And like I said, that's become, well, it ain't harmless at that point, but you know what you're doing, but
you don't have a heart. Do you not have a soul for you and your spouse? Like, you're getting away with it. You don't feel bad? There's no type of remorse. No type of, what's that word? Convictions.
So listen, the reason why, though, that people feel that way is because, again, when you're doing something like that, you're able to find time for that other person that should be
your spouse.
So,
now the question is, though, and I'm gonna do a whole nother topic about this. I'm gonna write this one down. Do you even like what? To
spend time with your spouse?
Yep.
Okay.
That's gonna be a topic, cause again, I've seen it throughout my career. I've seen it. Like, some husbands don't even like to come home.
Sit in traffic. Longer than they can. Take the long route home.
Go to the bar every Friday because I had a rough day. I want to just be with my friends. We got a bar here. What's up?
But like I said, so that's when a lot of stuff come in. And then when you start fantasizing about...
Oh, I talked about that when you went to get the boys.
Oh, okay. When you start fantasizing about other things, other people.
I was thinking about the dream, though, when you asked about the dream.
Yeah. What did you come up with that?
Oh, I was saying it starts becoming harmful now when you get, like, the deep dreams. Like, the wet dreams or the fantasy. It could be simple...
Or the consistency dream about the same. Now you're having a relationship dream. It
could be it could be the simple... I said it like the basic people be saying. It could be the simple mailman. Oh no, how do they the grass person, the yard guy, right? You know how they do the movies when they always cheat. The wife always cheat with the yard man or something. Yeah. It could be that simple. You could be in your mind, the yard dude look good, right? He look good, he's fine, Now you thinking about he might have took off his shirt working out. First of all, we not even having that. I know Brandon would be like, "Who this muscle man up in our house? We not doing this today, babe. He need to go home." That's not even. And we got camera outside the door, so he'd be like, "Oh, the." But I'm saying it's funny, but it's real because you can go from as simple as the yard man to thinking he look good to now you're thinking about him. Now you might have the dreams. Now you might be fantasizing, and it gets into a malicious way, and now you might wave at the yard guy. You might go out there with the water with the little shorts.
Or it could be the receptionist.
He would say that, right?
Or the secretary. I'm saying I'm putting it on both sides. You know?
That's why we work from home.
You know, the secretary or the receptionist that you see every day, that you walk past every day and stuff. And now you done turned that into a mind-going fantasy. Do you feel that's considered adultery right there? Because now you're lusting. You're lusting about that person.
Like adultery is like when the actual sex intercourse scenario
happens.
You can still have, I guess, bad lust intentions with people that is not good. That can lead because think about it. If you're lusting over the secretary chick, eventually you start saying hello. Like there's steps to this.
Oh yeah, there's steps to this.
You know what I'm saying? There's it's no games like it. And then the problem is, as like you said, the chick at the secretary. Now your mind is already like triggering. Like okay, she about to come to work tomorrow. Now you gonna start. Oh, okay. So now wives. Boom. This is the setup. Wives, we have to pay attention to our husbands. That might be another speech. We gotta pay attention. He's starting to smell good all of a sudden. He's starting to wear a certain button down to the office all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? He might be talking more about certain code. Like my husband talked about it yesterday or Monday about listening to your spouse, what conversations that they're having. How was your day? Oh, you know that secretary came and she brought me these papers. You keep talking about the secretary a lot. This happened to us. He mentioned somebody at his work a while ago. And I'm like, who is this? You keep talking about, I need to meet her. Who is she? Like, she look good? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? Why is she all up in... No, we're not doing that. But it's just steps to that. Where if you're not paying attention or if there's a bad relationship at home, you're having bad communication, y'all might not be having sex as much, y'all might just not be getting along, whatever. Now the brain, like my husband said, now he's not chilling with you. Now he's looking at the second, you know, for example, with that scenario. Now the flirting starts happening. Y'all, you know, husbands, it happens. You're not gonna tell me that just because you married, you don't flirt. Stop it. I flirted with a Toyota dude to get me a good discount the other day for my mother's car. But it wasn't like I wanted him. It was more like, hey, you know, being nice, right? Being a little bit nice. I tell him, Brandon's way too nice. I'd be like, yo, you flirting. He'd be like, no, I'm just being nice. Babe. No, that's flirting. Don't do that. I tell him, don't do that. Don't do that. So, but it goes that little bit. Because now the secretary is like catching up. She might be single or whatever. She might be married and might be okay with an affair. Because y'all both having one at the job. Nobody finds out about it. We're not leaving our spouses. So guess what? Shit is real.
We both got the same thing to risk.
It's real. Because we've talked about this. Like we have. We're not doing it. But we've talked about it. Would a husband or a spouse really risk their marriage if the person having the affair is okay with the affair? Being a side piece.
Even if they was married.
Even if they're married. Because y'all know when y'all was single, for my married people on here, you know when y'all were single, y'all were okay with letting the side piece know that you got the main one. And if the side piece was cool with it, you was cool with it. Like, yo, and I know Brandon used to be like, yo, my girl is crazy. She's crazy. So you got to just relax. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it was. I wasn't playing that. So they're okay with it. You're okay with it. Boom. That's a relationship affair now. And now, do they get caught? Probably not. Because they're okay with it. Both parties. But this is all step by step from the home. People don't realize that affairs happen within the home foundation. And I'm not saying it's the spouse's fault. I'm not saying that. So I don't want y'all to be on here like, oh, it's not my fault. You know, my wife cheated. No, I'm not saying that it's the spouse's fault.
But the steps that led.
I'm just saying, right. There's
there's steps that just led up to that situation.
You know, of course, you know, as an adult, you control your own actions. But if you're not happy in the marriage, you don't care. You're like, whatever. I'm gonna sleep with whoever I want to sleep with. Or you're not getting none, and the marriage is not good.
Or you're arguing consistently at the house.
Or you're like all these different. And we're not okay. And I do want to clarify, we're not saying it's okay to go and look elsewhere and have these affairs. We're not. We're actually saying the opposite. I want y'all to understand. We're saying the opposite. You take care of your marriage. You check on your man. You show up to the job.
That's why
they know who you are.
That's why we put is it okay? Because a lot of people feel like it's acceptable in their marriage.
It's real. It's a real question.
They feel like it's acceptable.
And then if you're a Christian and you think this is okay, that's a whole in the 10 Commandments. That's all up in the 10 Commandments. You in a rush?
No, just say where we at on that.
Got me off in the middle of my Bible talk. Is it anyone's fault? I just got into that. That was good. What notes you got? Right here?
Yep.
Oh, I see them. You see them?
I already knew. I knew how to talk about this conversation.
Go ahead. Oh, you knew. Oh, he acted like he experienced.
No, I ain't experienced. I just knew. Talk about this conversation.
Oh, you might be experienced with the cheating part, but not the adultery part. Okay, I get it. I get it.
There we go.
Y'all gotta get the realness. Whoever's watching.
There we go. What's the next one?
Liz, you know how they say you're grateful for God changing, you know, who you were and being in your life and all that. We are grateful.
Lord Almighty.
We are grateful. Because if y'all would have seen us years ago, y'all would have been like, we're not even hopping on this live. They're about to be some crazy gangster stuff. But anyways, are you breaking oneness and the intimacy? Do you even still have sex with your spouse after they have an affair? That's my question. Because I wouldn't even want that thing.
That's rough.
I wouldn't as much. And the thing that sucks is you as a marriage, eventually you're going to want to have sex with you're going to want to have sex. Period.
That's the night you're going to have to drink a lot.
So now... do you A, go to your spouse and you ask for forgiving and all that stuff, or just act like it whatever, or do you B, well actually there's 3, do you B, do it yourself, do you get toys and you handle it, or do you C, go to someone else? If you live with me right now, if you live with us right now, put A, B, or C. Do you A, still sleep with your spouse after the affair? Do whatever you gotta do. Drink, whatever, smoke, whatever. Do you B, put porn or something, whatever you gotta do. B, do you play with yourself? You might have to. Do you play with yourself to handle it? Be like, I gotta just get this nut off. I gotta go. Do you C, go elsewhere to get this? He said A. Good job. I'm proud of you. I'm not asking that question to me because we're not doing that, but I'm not even going to answer that.
Yeah, so it would be A.
You would do A?
Yeah, but you, like I said.
B might be looking pretty good now.
Listen, it's forgive. You got to forgive, but you can't forget. You know what I'm saying? You can forgive, but you can't forget. So, you know, fool me once, you know, but shame on, what they say, fool me once.
Shame on me?
Yeah.
No,
shame on you.
Fool me twice, shame on me, fool me, whatever it is, just don't do it.
Yeah, so basically, right there, that's going to be a hard situation to break through. And then how long after the fact that the situation occurred do you give in to, is there a time limit on that?
Listen.
Is there a time? It's like, no, okay, seriously. Because, like, if somebody say, I want to stay together, and this happened, are you going to be the one that hold out for, like, a whole year or half a year?
That's on your spouse that cheated?
Yeah.
That's real talk, because it's for real. You know what? That's good. Because if the spouse cheated, and you're accepting to forgive but not divorce, now you got to sit with your spouse and be like, hey man, I'm forgiving you, but I'm gonna take about 6 months.
Oh, 6.
To get over. No, I'm giving an example.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing all 6 months, but I'm just saying I'm gonna take about 6 to a year. Some people might take longer to actually be able to be intimate with you, because some women are that deep.
To be deep intimacy.
Deep. No, just sex.
So 6 months.
It might be. Some people might.
After the adultery.
Some
occurred.
maybe.
After
Some women might not. For I don't know.
That's
We might have to ask. Listen.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Cause
time out, babe. Time out. If you're watching us, or if you're watching a repeat, and this is we're gonna keep it between us. I know this is live, but let's keep it the Barkers, right? And if you've been through this scenario, if you've had an affair, and we know about it, people know about it, are you willing to talk or whatever, put it on here. Like, let's be transparent. If you're willing to, if you're okay with that. Well, what was your scenario? Or have you been cheated on, and what was your result? Like, what did you do? Like, did you tell your spouse, hey, I forgive you, it was the first time, to death do us part, even though in the Bible it says you can divorce, but anyway, still you decided to stay. Did you tell your spouse, I'm going to need this amount of time to be able to be sexually intimate with you? That's what we're doing. And if so, did you expect your spouse to not cheat again?
during that Lent, yeah, because if you said
during that Lent, or like, what are we doing?
Because no, so look,
because that's real.
So what about this scenario? This is what I'm talking about.
Can a man really? Anyways.
So what about this? So say the wife. All right, the husband. Say the husband cheated. Just say the husband cheated, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the reason the husband cheated is because the wife ain't putting out as much.
But is that valid?
That's not valid, but
it happens.
But it happens because she's holding out.
And in the Bible it says the temptation is there, so you need to give in, because if not, the devil's going to come in, and now you're going to be doing something else.
Yeah, so the holding out is the reason why the infidelity happened. And now you.
But that's not the reason. You got to control yourself as a man.
Yeah, you got to control.
But that played a role.
That played a role, and then
a big role.
Now the fact that it happened, you got caught. You talking about holding out some more on me? Like, for real? You already know if that person's a high drive and sex machine.
What do you expect? You've been holding out. Now you want me to give you something and you just cheated? Like, you about to hold out even more.
But see that right there. How does that supposed to work?
I can't laugh, it hurts.
How is that supposed to work? Because if you're a high drive
sex machine... So this is why valid facts. I'm saying. So this is why, first of all, we need to go to counseling. No, Matt, wait, before that, first of all, you need church. You need God. Not the church. You need God, you need Jesus, you need prayer. You need that. Like, I'm for real, right? Secondly, now, oh really? You talking about Brandon spitting bars? Second of all, you go to therapy. You must. If you're on here, or if you know someone that has been through this, and you did not go to therapy with your spouse, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. Because
as a therapist, as a professional therapist, I will say, church, well, if you don't want to put God, that's on you. But therapy, counseling, you must. You absolutely need the counseling. For you, for them, for each other.
Yeah.
Because now we have a problem. She holding out. She going to be holding out. Now what? Now you're going to be like, well, I'm going to cheat again because she holding out anyways. So then now she might be like, well, I'm going to just leave you then. Yeah. Like, so what are we doing?
Exactly. Now, is this something that we should have addressed before we got married?
What? The holding out?
The fact that if I'm a hyper drive, like okay, before when we was dating, we was getting it in, right? And then all of a sudden, now we got married, you start like,
oh, that's another topic. Let me write that one down.
Say
so if you got it in, let's say
like
3 to 5 times a week, and then all of a sudden you're down to once a month.
Yeah,
like that bad. Okay.
Before we got married, we was like, you know what I'm saying, popping it on the handstand. But now now we done got married, right? You done got to Slim Shady. Like what happened? You done slowed the process down. You get what I'm saying? So then that allows.
But did you do something to cause the slowing down?
No, it's just the fact that we got married. You don't know. But what if it's just the fact that we got married and now we
maybe something happened? Maybe did the person gain some weight? Did the person just not respect the spouse? There's a lot of things that factor into one of the spouses not being as sexually like you were.
But what if it falls into the comfort zone? Like now,
no. What are we comfortable in? We're comfortable
that we know we got somebody. You get what I'm saying?
No, that has nothing to do with your sex drive.
I get it, but
no. It's not comfort. If something happened, for example, like we know in another scenario, the other spouse gained some weight, and they're not feeling their spouse, so that the one spouse got comfortable with gaining weight, and the other spouse got comfortable with not giving it to her because, she gained some weight.
Oh, no, I don't feel that. Honestly, I'm going to change
You really believe that just because someone gets married, their sex just goes away?
I think so because of the comfort. Because it's like this. If I'm sleeping next to her, I can get it whenever I want. But if I don't want it, you know what I'm saying? Then what it is? Like, it could be the woman. Her sex drive might have been hyper before... Because you made it was hype, it was excitement before you got married. You get what I'm saying?
I think it's popping now.
No, listen. Because the dating scene is really exciting.
That's when you do it like everywhere.
Just like you, okay, prime example. Just like when a guy's dating a woman and before they get married, he do all these special things. He buy the roses and he do all that, the candies and special date. But then after we get married, what happens?
Ghost.
Because what? We got it. Just like we know that we go to bed with it next to us every day. Or she go to bed knowing it's there every day.
So now that may cause the adultery.
Yeah. And now the fact that you're comfortable, like, oh, yeah, it is what it is. But the other person, like, I'm really into my spouse and I want to be, like, really sexual all the time. Now sometimes you could be like, sex is too much. Like, you got people that want to have it.
Yo, I actually have someone that they're like, I'm always tired. I just don't want to do it, and he does all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all gotta come together and figure out a schedule and a plan, because let's say it's the husband, right? He wants it all the time. I'm tired because I got the kids, the car, the house, the mom, grandma, whatever. We gotta talk and be like, hey, babe, you want it more than me because I'm just tired. I don't mind it, but I'm tired. So you gotta take on some more of these chores with me so I can be less tired to hop on it more. But that's a whole nother conversation. But I get what you're saying. However, being a comfort part, something happened in the marriage for the comfort to happen. I don't think it's just, we got married, I'm comfortable. No, I think, remember, you got married, you probably stopped hopping around the house more.
You got comfortable to say, I ain't going nowhere, she ain't going nowhere. And that's how
so you just don't want none? Like, no, you're just not horny? Like,
no, but that's how, the adultery goes in there. Oh, we're married now. We can do what we want to do, but she ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
Might as well cheat.
Might as well.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's real, though. But that's not happening. It's real because it makes sense. Because think about it. If we're married and I know you're never going to leave me and you're never going to get a divorce, why not creep?
Exactly.
And that's a good question. Like, for me personally, I think keeping the oneness and intimacy and knowing... Because y'all remember, like I said, we've been through some stuff. So I know how it feels to share his penis. Okay? We're going to just be straightforward. I knew what it was. And it wasn't get off of me, dude. It's just real talk. Whatever. Whoever's on it's the real deal. And I knew what it was. I didn't like it. Like, I used to be, he knows, I used to be mad. I used to want to fight all the chicks. Like, what we doing? That's supposed to be me. So now I cherish. I tell him all the time, when me and married, I'll be like, babe, I'm so grateful this is mine, only mine. I don't gotta share you no more. But it's facts. So for me, I don't want to mess that up, and I know he tells me he don't want me to mess that up either, because now we're deeper in intimacy, deeper in love, deeper and deeper in that. You know what I'm saying? You know? But anyways, that's really it when it comes to adultery stuff. Y'all have any thoughts, comments, questions? Don't forget to go to our page, subscribe to our YouTube, direct.me/Barker Worldwide. Check us out. Go to our YouTube. I appreciate the comments. Y'all could comment back even on the replay, like, oh, I think it's okay to have my mistress every other weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, affairs are out there more than we think. What's cool is that y'all were able to evolve. Yeah. Who's that, babe?
Jay Will.
Who is Jay Will?
I think he's overseas in the military.
Oh, Japan.
Yeah.
I am.
Yes.
Oh, what up? I'm like, what time is it over there? I thought it was him, but I was like, he really would be on. But then I'm thinking about time. We really did evolve a lot. Like that's just a little 5% of our relationship. It's been 13 years, so we really, really evolved. And I was that serious when I'm saying I was about to be somebody, okay? And the highways and everything, driving, he knows, about to get it, right? I was not playing. This was my first coming to Georgia, Jennifer. The real Bridgeport inside came. He said, yeah. Jarrell. So, Jarrell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, what? So, but I'm excited, guys. Thank you for chiming in. You know, I'm trying to not talk as much. It's been about 50 minutes. I usually don't like to be on too long. But right about the 45 to the hour area ballpark. But definitely, what y'all think? Like, you know, I got Jarrell commenting, you know, I'm not sure if you're married or not. Before we get off, how do you feel that we've been talking about adultery? Jarrell, like, Norcross. Jarrell Norcross.
Okay.
You still don't know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Well, you said, hey.
Yeah.
You know, what's up?
Yeah.
So, like, how do you feel? Like, I don't know. Is he married?
Yeah, I think. Is this the one in Texas? I got 3.
He said Norcross.
Yeah, but he moved to Texas. I think he moved to Texas and got married.
Okay, well, how do you feel about that? Adultery, right? It's not accepted in our home. It's not allowed in our home. However...
He recently got married. Congratulations. I think he got married about maybe almost a year
So
and a
this
half.
is great. The right steps to...
Jeriel.
To come together and avoid... Because it's real. Like, I'm telling y'all, 2022, the technology has made all this bad, sinful stuff happen so easy. Like, it literally, you get on a phone, swipe, and see somebody booty crack, just out. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that real? Like, for real.
Yeah, but
you could be like, who's nearby, butt naked, and it pops up with the person. These apps, they have so much stuff. You have to be careful.
It's easy access.
Very, you know. But anyways, thank y'all for getting on. Anything else, babe? Because my mouth.
Nah, thank y'all for getting on. Like I
have to
said,
go pop a pill, okay?
So tune in. Are you gonna be on for Thursday Ladies Night?
Tomorrow night.
It depends on how you
many
feeling.
things. Yes, I'm remarried. Oh, yay! Believed in love again. I love it. Congratulations. Tomorrow night, get your wife on. Get your wives. Get back on. I'm gonna be actually discussing the Will Smith incident. Yes, I'm gonna go there. Wives, do y'all think he protected his wife? I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna discuss some facts, some stuff, some information. Personally, I'm gonna let y'all know. I don't think he did. I don't think he was.
I went over that Monday too.
He went over it
for the men.
For the man on the husband's aspect. Did Will protect his wife? Go check that video out, to get more information on how he broke it down. And I'm going to tell y'all on here, Brandon broke it down real deep. I didn't even think about all of that, about how to protect the marriage and the wife for real. It was really good. Go check that out, especially for my remarried folks. Go check it out. It's really, really good. And then for me, I'm going to go over my aspects as from a woman's point of view, what it is. Because I saw a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of women on Facebook talking about, he should have did that. You know, that's protecting his family, protecting his wife, and you don't talk to her. Like, and some women were like, that was great, and I love it. He stood up for her. Me personally, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm gonna go over it tomorrow. I don't believe Doug's protecting his wife. I really don't. And then I'm gonna discuss, was she protecting him? Like, that's gonna be good. I don't think she was. I'm gonna discuss the reasons, how you do protect your husband like Brandon did. It's gonna be amazing. You know, get the wives on. Husbands, tell your wives tomorrow night, 9:00. We're excited. Normally we get more in depth, but my mouth is hurting. I need to go take some medicine, and that's it.
Yeah, me too. I gotta take some allergy medicine.
Oh, your allergies acting up?
Yeah.
Pollen is crazy out here in Georgia. Thank you for getting on. Thank you. We'll be back on me tomorrow night, Monday, Monday. Thank you. Wednesday, go to our page, direct.me/Barker Worldwide. We'll also put it on our page, our YouTube and things like that. Share, watch, subscribe. We love what we're doing. We want to uplift and help other marriages. It's always positive, but we do discuss the real facts.
And if you have any real deal conversations that y'all would like us to go over, please put that in the comments. Put that in. You could DM us, or you don't even have to put it in the comments. You could DM us individually and say, hey, would y'all elaborate on this particular topic? And it'll be something that we'll discuss and go over and give different aspects.
Yeah, and then also getting people on. We're working on, thank you. We're working on getting a platform where we could just have multiple, either men, women, marriages, whatever, and we can go live.
And have like a panel.
Kind of like almost like a podcast, kind of live thing, you know? So it'll be pretty cool. A lot of things are coming shortly in the next couple of weeks. So appreciate y'all. Y'all have a safe night. Y'all be good. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night, ladies.
See ya.